Hello, Stitchers. Welcome to Stitch Please, the official podcast of Black Women Stitch, the sewing group where Black Lives Matter. I'm your host, Lisa Woolfork. I'm a fourth-generation sewing enthusiast with more than 20 years of sewing experience. I am looking forward to today's conversation, so sit back, relax, and get ready to get your stitch together. Hey friends, hey, it's Lisa from Black Women Stitch and the Stitch Please podcast. And as I say every other week, this is a very special episode because this episode is with none other than couture man sewing, Garland Hayes-Soto. Garland joins us from California, where he has been sewing formally, informally, at school, after school, before school, working with the small children, working with the celebrities, getting all into it. And he has created a brand that is not just providing custom sewing for people you have heard of. He is also teaching people, adults and kids, formally and informally, how to sew. So Garland is one of those people who I am cheering for because he is keeping the sewing going. So let's 3 cheers for Garland. Hip, hip, hooray, and welcome Garland Hayes-Soto to the Stitch Please podcast.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for welcoming me. I'm so excited to be here with my people on both sides.
Yes, that's right. We are so happy to have you. Let me ask you the question we like to start off with. Garland, what is your sewing story? How did sewing first come into your life?
Okay, that's a loaded question. So for me, growing up, I was into music first. I was a musician and a singer.
Nice.
And an actor.
What did you play?
I played a lot of things. Of course, like everyone, I grew up in church.
Okay.
So church was my first love in terms of music. I was in the illustrative sermons in church as well. I was a young actor. So following my talent, my gifts, of course, I was in choir. I was in drama in high school. Then I went to advanced drama and I went to advanced choir. I was winning different talent shows in elementary school and high school, junior high. I played Judas in the Easter play.
Wow.
Yes.
That is not an easy role. That is not an easy role.
No, the betrayal of Jesus Christ. Well, they gave it to me. They gave it to me because I was 13 and I could sing. And I think if anyone was going to betray Jesus, it was going to be a young person. So they let me play that character. And I was really good in it. So, of course, in high school, I was into music. I was in drama and theater. I was in Greece. I did Greece in high school as well. And
wow.
I was always into music. Yeah, that was my first love. I recorded my first demo in high school as well.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So you were a vocalist.
Oh yeah, vocalist down. Yes.
Wow.
Performer. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to go to Juilliard. Or I wanted to go to AMDA, which is the American Musical Dramatic Academy in California. And I really wanted to go to these schools. And I took vocal lessons. I took tap dancing. That was going to be my thing. Everyone in my family knew that I was going to be in entertainment. I never, ever, never sewed. Nobody in my family ever sewed. I think my grandfather had a dry cleaners at one point.
Okay.
So he was kind of into sewing, but I never seen him sew. Fast forward to my junior year of high school, I really, really wanted to go to prom. And for my prom, I really wanted to have a vest. And I wanted my vest to have silver and black sequins all around the opening and all around the armhole.
Right.
And I was like, well, how am I going to get it to be like this?
Where can I find this?
Yeah, how can I find this?
It's like, you're not going to buy this in the store. You're not going to find this in the store.
So I'm like, where am I going to find this? So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make it. I'm just going to do it. So I got a hand sewn needle and the sequins by hand, and I did each one by hand, all around the vest, the neck opening, and all around the armhole. I did that while I was at work. I worked in high school. I would be at work just sewing by hand my little sequins one at a time on my vest. So I did that, and that was great. Then the following year, my senior year, I went with the same girl twice. We wanted to go to prom again, and we wore hot pink and black this time.
Whoa.
Hot pink and black. So I did my hair. I dyed my hair hot pink. I know.
Oh
I
my
know.
gosh. Wow. I love it.
Yes.
You
Yes, I
commit
dyed
to
my
a
hair hot
look.
pink. Oh, it's a look. So I've been serving looks. I guess that's what got
That
me
part.
into fashion. I've been serving looks. I didn't know about making looks, but I've been serving looks.
Yes.
Yes. So I made
Yes.
her a course. I made her a corsage with black roses and crystals and all this stuff.
Oh
And
my
I made my. I
gosh.
made my. I got a tie and I put crystals and stuff on the tie as well. So that was
Oh,
my first kind of taste of like fashion and sewing. So then on my 18th birthday, I was like, Mom, like, I really want to sew. I want to be a fashion designer. And she's like, You've never done this before. I'm like, I know, but I want to do this. I feel like I could do it, even though I had no skill. So for my 18th birthday, she bought me a sewing machine, and the rest is history.
now, this is a beautiful story because it's you when you imagine like becoming an 18-year-old, the 18 years it took to get there. That's not a lot of time in most adults' lives when you think about it percentage wise. But you went through a pretty intense journey, it feels like, as a small child actor, like working in church and having the church in some ways, like I too grew up in a black church as well. And that's like for me was the first time I ever heard anybody give a speech or ever
Mm,
heard someone or we had oratorical contests and we would practice and it's very much a social and performance space church can
right.
be, right? Because that's why you have choir rehearsals because you want to
Well,
sound good when Sunday comes. You're not just going to show up and start singing and see what happens, you know? And so there's a
right.
lot of behind the camera stuff that you were doing. No, I'm not sorry. I'm going to switch that around. There's a lot of in front of camera. You seem like a talent
Yes.
who would be in front of the camera, behind a microphone, someone who is a vocalist, someone who is singing, someone who is also doing acting both at high school and at the church. And then after you had this one teeny tiny taste for prom of making the one thing you envisioned that you could see in your mind and not find in the store and you just made it. Do you think there was a connection at all between your creative energy as an actor, as a vocalist that gave you the sense that, you know what, I'm just going to try it. I'm going to make my vest. I'm going to get it. And even in my part-time work, when I'm down or on breaks or whatever, I'm going to sit here and just hand stitch this. What gave you that drive? Was it something separate? Or do you see it as a continuation of what you were already doing?
Well, I feel like because I grew up singing and doing choir, and I did so many plays and so many performances, so many auditions, and so many parades, and so many things like that. For me, when the sewing came, it was something new. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, I never did this before." So that was what was motivating me to go forward. I was like, "Wow, this is something new." I'd already sang, I already did so many lessons. So for me, I was like, been there, done that. I already been
Mm,
singing. So for me, the sewing was something new. I was like, wow, this is something I've never really tried to even grasp the concept of sewing. What is it that I'm trying to actually do with sewing in terms of making something from nothing? Upcycling that wasn't a thing before.
right?
The Goodwill shopping. It was just new, and I just felt like I mean, God puts stuff inside of you. Only you know
Yep,
what you can do anyway. So
that's right.
maybe my mom didn't see the vision. My dad, my family, they didn't see the vision. But I already knew
Yes.
that I was
Yeah,
that I was gonna be. I'm not gonna say that I was gonna be good at it because at first I wasn't.
of course. Of course. But that, so what I love about your, parents might not see, but that's why the vision is for you. If they were meant
Right,
to understand it, it would be for them.
right.
And it's not, it was for you. Now, tell me a bit, so you did not end up going to Juilliard or to the other college you mentioned. You were at, I think it was University of California, Inland Empire. I don't even know
I
what
went to
Inland.
the Inland Empire. So the Inland Empire is about an hour away from LA,
Okay, is it
and
is it near
and I
San Francisco? Like, where is Inland
oh
Empire? What does that
no.
even refer
So
to?
the Inland Empire is in Rancho Cucamonga.
Okay.
Ontario, California,
Okay.
Fontana, California, Rialto, California.
Okay.
That's where the inland, Riverside, California.
Yeah.
Um, that's where the Inland Empire is. So
Okay.
when I
Thank
say the
you.
Inland Empire, it makes up multiple cities.
Thank you. Thank you. So you went to school, you started college there. Is that where you started to pick up more sewing? When did that what was that like for you? What was your sewing life like at that time?
Okay, so my first semester in school, I signed myself up for the Art Institute of San Bernardino. It was right here in
Oh,
San Bernardino. And
wow.
it was a 3 year college. I was getting my bachelor's of art in fashion design. And my mom's like, "Are you going to pay this $97,000 back?" And I'm like, that's when it got real. I was like, oh my God, I'm signing myself up for like something, a
Yes,
big deal,
a big
you
deal.
know, a big deal. So I'm like, okay, let me go to the school. So my first semester in school, I really wanted to learn how to sew. I'd already gotten a machine. I kind of knew how to use it a little bit, but I
Yes.
really wanted more hands-on training. I was like, okay,
Yes.
fashion school equals sewing classes. That's what it's going to be. But it wasn't. It wasn't that.
Mm,
So I was taken aback, like, man, they're trying to teach us about color and art and costume history and textiles and painting and drawing and everything but sewing. So I'm like, okay,
I love that. It's like, listen, I came here to learn how to put thread to needle and needle to fabric. And you all are telling me about, the 20th century modernist and the 19th century impressionist. And when are we going to learn how to baste?
right. When are we going to learn how to make some pants? Because I want to make a shirt. So that's for me, I was taken back because school, at least the first semester, the first couple semesters, they don't get you in deep in the sewing first. They teach
Right.
you, we start from the beginning. So I'm like, okay.
Mm,
So in my mind, I've been very ambitious. I'm a very ambitious person.
yes.
So in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to apply for Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm going to try to get a job in the costume department because maybe there I can sew. So I went to the Universal. I only had one semester in fashion school, and I applied for the wardrobe department, and they really liked my personality. They
I
were like, your personality, yeah. So like you're so funny and fun and fresh, and you don't know how to sew. Like you're a beginner sewer, but we like your personality. We're gonna take a chance on you. So they hired me there.
I love that. And you know what? And they said they might have said personality, but what I see as part of that personality is your curiosity. I think having someone who is curious and really wants to learn is something that is very attractive to people who might find themselves in a space where folks don't have the patience or they want to have the outcome but not the process. So I can definitely
Mm.
imagine seeing a 19-year-old Garland saying like, hey, I have finished the fall semester over there at the fashion school and I am ready for a wardrobe department.
I'm
Um,
ready.
and they were like, okay. But so they took you under their wing. Tell me a bit about that. That sounds quite exciting. What is it?
It was.
What would surprise someone about working in a costume department at a theme park, like
Mm,
an international attraction? These are
okay.
very big things. Lots of people come through, and I know those nights are very popular for people who like scary things. And we have
Right.
one in our town, well, not our town, nearby. And I know I was traumatized by a deranged clown on one of those nights. So, um, tell me about what it meant to walk into the costume department.
Okay, so I was hired on in the costume department for a theater production show called Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure. So I
Yes.
was working in a theater. I was working with actors on stage. So my job in my role, they let me sew on the buttons.
There you go.
They
Here,
let me
honey, you
sew,
do
yeah,
that. You sit
you
right
do
there.
this. Yes, they let me sew on the snaps. I sewed on the snaps. I was like, I was so excited to do it though. Oh, I was so excited because I was on the lot. I used to go to Universal Studios when I was a kid. So I was like in Hollywood, like after school, I would drive there and I got to be in LA for the night. So
Oh,
a lot of the gigs and the stuff that I was doing is a lot of it was not sewing. A lot of it was
oh.
dressing the actors and doing quick changes on stage.
Okay. What is a quick change?
A quick change is when an actor they come off the stage, maybe they have 30 seconds or 1 minute to change their whole costume, wig, bra, pants, shoes, the whole outfit, and they have to change into another look. So I was a
Wow.
dresser. Yeah, so I was
Wow.
a dresser.
Hey friends, hey, it's Lisa from Black Women Stitch and the Stitch Please podcast. Our Patreon community is growing and we'd love to have you in it. We recently updated our membership tiers and now it's easier than ever to support the work of Black Women Stitch while getting exclusive perks just for you. You'll find full-length talks, behind-the-scenes updates, bonus episodes, and access to videos from the podcast and beyond. Your support helps fund the podcast, pay our team, and keep this movement going strong. Every dollar truly makes a difference. So if you've been thinking about joining, now is the perfect time. Black organizations face increasing funding challenges. Community support closes that gap. Head to our Patreon community and choose the tier that feels right for you. And thank you.
So I would change male and female characters from one look to another very quickly.
That is amazing. And so and that's how the shows can move so seamlessly, right? Because you
Yes.
can, yes, because they have someone. So what I'm wondering is, so you did that for a while and then you transitioned from the university in Inland Empire to a university in Hollywood. Tell me a bit about that transition of going from Inland Empire to a school based in Hollywood.
Okay, so I was working there for a few months. They liked me, so they kept me on. I was seasonal at first, but they kept me on. And I met two girls there, and they were like, "You know what? We're getting a new house. We're renting a house in Hollywood. If you want to move down here with us, and you want to transfer to the Art Institute of Hollywood, you should do it." And I'm like, "Okay, yes, I'm gonna do it. Yes."
So were these two girls that also worked in the same job as you, or
Of
they?
course, of course. All of my all of my coworkers were either they graduated from FITM. They already have their degree. They've been sewing for years. All of the women and men that were in the costume department were already people who were in the industry. They already had worked. They were already designers or they went to school. So I was just around very influential people all around me, older people. I was the baby of the
Of the
department.
crew?
Yeah, and I'm just like, so in my mind, I'm just getting knowledge, information. I'm seeing, I'm
Yes.
hearing, I'm getting
Yeah.
around to, and then it's not even just the costume department, it's also the wig department, the makeup department. That's another department.
Oh,
Yes, they're all departments, but we're all
yes,
together.
yes.
And we're the only department at Universal that didn't have to wear costumes, or we didn't have to wear uniforms.
Oh,
So we
that's
got to
right.
wear whatever we wanted. We got to wear whatever we wanted, and we just had a name badge. So a lot of the work that we do in the theme park is laundry. That's
Hmm.
a very important part of
I believe.
costume design.
Yes.
People forget about that, especially in
Hmm.
theater production shows. Who's going to wash the clothes and who's going to put the costumes back?
Oh, yes. They just can't throw them on the floor and just let it wait for,
No.
a magical fairy to come and get it done.
No, who's gonna wash the clothes? Who's gonna wash
Yes.
them? We can't just be wearing the same Shrek
Yes.
costume all the time.
Yes. And it has to stand up for washing and laundering. And so I'm sure there's something, or if something comes undone, then you're like redoing it or whatever.
Right, right.
Wow. That is fantastic. Now tell me, I'm so curious about your journey I love your brand, Couture Man Sewing. From the website, we learned that you do custom sewing for other people, as well as alterations, high stakes alterations. And I'm wondering how you arrived at Couture Man Sewing as a company or brand name.
Okay, so my first name, I was called the Divisor,
The
which means
Deviser.
which
Okay.
means the creator. I was like, oh, it's another word for
Aha.
creator. Like, I think I
Yes.
was the divisor. Yeah, I was the designer at first. I was the
Okay.
designer. And then I
Designer.
was like, that the designer. That's not specific enough. That could be anybody.
That's true. That's true. Lots
That
of
could
things.
be anyone.
That's true. Lots of things to design
Yeah.
in the world. Bridges.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm like, what we need to hone in on what I'm designing. So then I was like, oh, the divisor, that's like a cool, like different word. Divisor. Um, then it came time to like trademark my name and actually come up with like a name, get my business license, seller's permit, and all these things. And I wrote a song, okay, because I used to sing. I wrote a song called The Designer. So I wrote a song called The Designer. And in the first opening line of the song, I say, I'm the couture man. That's what I say. And I'm like, you know what? I'm the couture. I am the couture man. That's what I'm doing. Like I'm making stuff couture. I'm tailoring by hand. I'm doing all this intricate work. I'm the couture man. And I was like, you know what? That's going to be my business name, Couture Man Sewing. That's me. I wanted the couture for the elegance. I wanted the man for the strength and the sewing. So we know what we're talking about.
Yes, I love each element of that, and I love a thoughtful name because it really is your calling card, and everything you need to know is in there. And I
Right.
love how it came from you composing a theme song for your other name.
Well, honestly.
That's really quite wonderful. Now, do you have any favorite projects that you might recall that you could tell us about that you did as couture work? Is there something that you were like, oh my gosh, I spent so much time on this, or this turned out way better than I thought, or this was starting down a wrong road, but I knocked it out the park? Do you have any stories about
Yeah.
that that can help us learn more about your practice?
Of course, of course. So in 2018, I was really trying to push myself to take on more clients. I really
Mhm.
wanted to push myself out of the alteration world and I wanted to make custom stuff. I was like, I want to get my own clients. I want to put my skills that I learned in school to use. So I was working at Joanna Fabrics in 2016, 2018 or so, and I was just handing out my card at the cut counter. Hey, I make stuff, I do stuff. Hey, like do you know somebody? So I got a chance to make a wedding dress in 2018. And that was my first wedding dress. I made the whole thing from scratch. It was definitely more work than I anticipated.
Wow.
Um, but I got it done, and she invited me and my mom and my sisters to the wedding, and she
Oh,
sat us. I got yeah, she sat us right in the front row of the wedding with her
oh,
family. And as she walked down the aisle, I got to fluff her dress as she walked down,
oh,
and my mom was there to see it, and her whole family. And I just really, in that moment, I really realized, wow, what I do is so important. It seems like it's
yes.
for fun or it's a craft or it's whatever. This is an important day for her. It was a very important day. It was her wedding. Her whole family was there, and I got to be a part of it. So sewing is so important. That was a good project. Then another dress I made in 2018 as well. It was a dress for Miss Rodeo, California in 2018.
Wow. Now
Yes.
that's going to be an elaborate outfit. Tell us about Miss Rodeo, California. I'm not familiar with the tournament or pageant that Miss Rodeo, California represents.
So Miss Rodeo, California is for the girls who ride horses.
Wow.
These are equestrian girls, and they're here in the Inland Empire, the Harupa Hills Valley, and they actually own horses and they ride horses. They jump over things, but they have to do it in
Wow.
the beautiful. They wear the beautiful button-up shirts with all the crystals on them, with the beautiful hats and the big belt
Aha.
buckles.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
the
So they have to
rodeo, the
be
rodeo.
so they're stylish and they have to be functional. So you're not
Yes.
just saying this can be pretty, it has to be comfortable on their bodies. Their bodies have to move as they're riding. Like, so it cannot just be pretty.
No, it cannot. So it's a pageant that they enter. So these girls ride horses. So it's not like a beauty pageant like regular ones where they just come on stage. They do
Right.
eventually come out on stage, but they also have to ride the horse, talk about their horse,
Wow.
wear the chaps, and do those things. So I had the privilege of making her a beautiful gown, and I was ready to
Wow.
give up on that gown, Lisa. Let me tell you, I
Really?
was ready to
No
give up.
way.
Yes, because I was working and it was a trying time. I was a young man, and I didn't know the severity of this gown or the competition. I just felt like it was too
Oh,
much on my plate. And I had the fabric in the dress and I told the mom and the daughter, I was like, you guys, I can't do this. I have to give you the dress back. And they're like, you know what? We trust you. We believe in you. You can do it. They didn't give up on me. They didn't accept. I was trying to
Oh,
turn it down. Yeah, I was trying not to do it, but they're like, no,
wow.
you can do it. We believe in you. We trust you. So that pushed me forward, and I did it. And she won first place in my gown.
And that is another message. When you have people who are in your corner, who are able to, who trust and believe in you when you don't yet trust and believe in yourself.
Amen.
Now, I bet you do things like that all the time now for your sewing students, since you've been teaching sewing to adults and to children. How has that been on the other side of the sewing machine? Instead of you sitting there and doing the sewing work, you are helping somebody else develop a good relationship to sewing.
You know what? I think it's been very eye-opening because as a male black sewer coming into a woman-dominated industry,
Yep.
I too felt like, man, they don't want me to be in here. They don't want to. They don't
Oh,
want me to be a part of this. I'm not welcomed, or I'm the odd man out.
oh,
Especially being a black person in the sewing world.
yep.
There's a double negative. So
I see.
I was there's a double negative. So I'm like, man, it's like all these women in here. Even in fashion school, it's mostly women.
Right.
I worked as a tailor at Daniel LaCroix Couture in West Hollywood. It was all women, all white women. Sorry, but that's who was in
Yeah.
there. And a lot of the women, they were not nice to me. They
Oh,
were not like they were not like, oh, come here, let me help you, sweet child. Let me encourage you, let me uplift you. No, that's not what I received. I received a
mm.
lot of like backlash. I received a lot of like they were trying to break my spirit. I
Oh,
felt that. Yeah, and then I was also experiencing a little bit of prejudice and racism. I didn't growing up in the Inland Empire, it's very mixed.
uh-huh.
It's very mixed. I don't know how it is in Virginia, but I,
It is
I
not very
never really.
mixed.
Okay, okay. So
Not where
I
I
didn't really.
am.
No, I didn't really experience racism. I never really
Mm,
experienced that until I got older and I started putting myself in different spaces, and I'm like, man,
situations.
yeah, why
Mm,
are they treating me like this? Why are they talking to me like this? That's weird. Look, I never experienced it. So as I
right.
grew up older and I started to realize like, oh, like they're treating me like this because or they're I'm coming around the corner in Joann's and they're like, I'm scared. These microaggressions. I'm like, what?
Yes.
Why are you
Yes.
jumping? I don't
Yes.
why
Yes. Exactly.
why are
Yeah.
you
I got
scared?
I got a whole apron on and it says my name is
I,
Garland right here
I
on the
work
tag.
here.
I
Yeah,
actually,
like what?
I actually do
Why
work
are you
here.
treating Yes, yes. So I feel like from the perspective of growing up like that and not getting it right away, I feel like I have a lot more patience and understanding for my students because I remember what it was like being a beginner. I
Yes.
remember. And my
Yes.
motto is I try to make the sewing fun. I keep it light. I know I have a good smile. I know I'm charming. So I use
Yes.
that. I
Yes.
use that so they can listen to me. They can remember
Yes.
what I said. I say
Yes.
funny lines in my classes so that they laugh and they remember like, "Oh yeah, he did say that." Ha ha ha. Yeah, it's funny, but you're going to remember
Remember
when I'm not
that.
here, you remember what I said. Yes.
Yes, yes. And you know what I always appreciate I think about California is because it is very, very mixed. And I love the fact that racism was a surprise for you.
Right.
I love that for you. I love
Right.
that you were able to grow up in an environment that, unless you put yourself deliberately in an environment with lots and lots and lots and lots of white people, you were not just going to have like regular, degular racism just on the daily. And I think that that is how we all should be living, honestly. I think that's how we should all be living. I can tell you it is not, but it should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I also love how you're able to draw on your personality resources as a teaching tool, as someone who's able
Yeah.
to kind of come up with like these funny little quips or little tips and tricks to kind of
Right.
help people. Let me ask you just a quick technical question before we wrap up. One of the things I've been thinking about is intermediate sewing and what it means to become intermediate. You're not a beginner because you just started, but you're not an expert either. What for you is the difference between a sewist who is at the intermediate level? What kind of things do you think someone who says, I am an intermediate sewist should know how to do?
I think for me, I think in terms of garment construction,
Yeah.
that's what it matters the most, because going to fashion school, of course, we started from the beginning. We start making a skirt, like a pencil skirt with darts and a zipper and a waistband. Then we start with pants. We make pants with pockets, patch pockets, waistbands, zippers, fly fronts. Okay. Then we go to dress. Okay. We have to make a dress with princess seams, armholes, linings. Okay. Then we make a jacket, a suit jacket. Tailored. We have to do princess seams, pockets, sleeves, linings, setting in, so we build our way up. Then we have to make a corset. Then we have to make a farthingale. Then we have to make a neck ruff. So there's so many things that we have to, there was so many technical things that I had to make already. So when someone's like, I'm intermediate, I'm like, okay, can you make a corset? Can you make a suit jacket? Or even, can you make a button-up, a men's button-up shirt? With all the top stitching, the buttons, the buttonholes, the collar and the collar stand. The stand, yes. Can you use an overlock machine? Do you know how to work with knits? And then let's not forget about pattern making. We haven't even talked about pattern making.
We have not. Listen, if you got to be a pattern maker to be an intermediate sewist too, I'm not an intermediate, y'all. I thought I was an expert. But Garland Hayes-Soto is here to tell me I don't know how to make patterns. So I need to sit my intermediate behind down somewhere.
No, but you know what? I've learned too throughout the years that you don't need to make patterns either. There's perfectly good patterns you could just buy from the store and hack those.
Exactly.
People don't care about the work kind of that you put into it. They do, but I think what matters is the end result.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
And how you got to the end result is the main thing that customers care about and the sewist care about as well. So that's my end goal. Let's buy a butterwork pattern and hack it and cut it up and change something to it.
And see, and I think I agree. I feel as though unless you are, I think that there are so many ways that you can manipulate a flat pattern. And I think learning about flat pattern adjustment just as a principle is an important skill that anyone can use in the future on any pattern. So I think that's really wonderful. I cannot believe how fast this time has gone, because it is a time for me to ask you the question that we ask all the guests here on the Stitch Please podcast, and it is this. The slogan of the Stitch Please podcast is that we will help you get your stitch together. Garland Hayes-Soto of Couture Man Sewing, what advice do you have for us today to help us get our stitch together?
You know what? To help you get your stitch together, I'm going to encourage beginners and new sewists alike, young and old, take notes. In the class, if you're serious about learning something, don't just let your ears listen and you're not taking notes. Be a serious student. Take it serious. Don't waste my time or yours in the class. If you're taking a workshop, let's take some notes, boo. Let's go ahead and I was very annoying in school. I don't care. I was very annoying. Wait a minute. So when you do this, I was very that. I wanted to know everything. So let's take some notes. Don't waste your time taking a class with me and you're not taking notes. Take notes, because I'm not going to be here forever. It's only a 3-hour class, and you want to be able to reflect back and say, oh yeah, he did say this. So take notes to get your stitch together.
Oh my gosh. And on that note, thank you so much, Garland Hayes-Soto from Couture Man Sewing. It has been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was great. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, guys.
You've been listening to Stitch Please, the official podcast of Black Women Stitch, the sewing group where Black Lives Matter. We appreciate you joining us this week and every week for stories that center Black women, girls, and femmes in sewing. We invite you to join the Black Women Stitch Patreon community with giving levels beginning at $5 a month. Your contributions help us bring the Stitch Please podcast to you every week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support, and come back next week and we'll help you get your stitch together.